Hey Aquarius, welcome to Divine Duality Tarot. My name is TJ. It is May, and I have a love reading for you. What I'm going to try to do here is get a good read on what's going on between you, your romantic interest. That way you got a little bit of forewarning going into whatever this issue is. I do a pretty simple spread. It's I go to get your energy going into this issue. And once I get these drawn here, what is going on with our Aquarius? Get two for you. Now I'm going to get the energy of your significant other, Aquarius, see what's going on with them. And then I'm going to do my third question, which is, what is the point of contention? More or less, why does this energy exist between the two of you? That way we can get down to what the issue is. Now, usually these are real straightforward. It makes sense. Every once in a while, something doesn't quite add up. So I use this one to actually do the regular questions. I do have this deck right here that, with the exception of right just now, it's not been touched, for clarification or additional questions should those come up. Now, Aquarius, you are the star of the show, so I'm going to start with you, see if we can kind of get to see what's really going on with you. And what I'm seeing here is a pretty interesting combination. You have the major arcana, the Fool, and you have the Page of Swords. Now, the Fool is new beginnings. It's taking new chances. It's a leap of faith. A lot of times what this can signify is taking a new step in a relationship into the unknown. As just a general example, I'm not saying that this is particularly yours. Taking a leap of faith can be as simple as getting a new job that you have zero skills for. You don't know if you're going to like it or not, but you just jump in and see what happens. Some people might be telling you, no, stop, it's not something you're capable of doing, but you don't know if you're capable of doing it until you do it. In a relationship situation, especially leading the Page of Swords is enthusiasm and eagerness. This is somebody who is really going for it, looking for new truths. What we have here, Aquarius, is a restless mind, a restless heart, a restless soul. You're ready to take a new step, ready to take a new direction, and you're excited for it. You know what you want. You're ready to just dive in. But what's holding you back? Let's see what's going on with them. Excuse me. They're leading it off with the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is satisfaction. The Nine of Cups is, the Nine of Cups is emotional satisfaction. This is somebody who's okay with where things are. Now that can be good and that can be bad, because if they're content with how things are, content can breed complacency. And once you start getting there, forward motion is very difficult because they're already okay with where they're at. It's like if you've been sitting down in a really comfortable chair, you know how it's difficult to get up. Well, this, depending on circumstance, and we'll get into that, can be that complacency. They found their lazy boy, they've sunken into it. I know I just went on about complacency. I'm kind of thinking that might be the case. See, Judgment is coming to an understanding. It's finding agreement. It is reaching a plane of understanding. That is the best way to really word it. This person has made a major breakthrough in their mentality. This is somebody who has been working up a hill and they plateaued. Now, in this case, that plateau that they hit They've come to that final understanding. They've come to that final, they've come to know the situation. It leads right back into that Nine of Cups. They're happy, not necessarily happy, but they're content with the situation. So, between the two of you, just to see and make sure that we're on the same page all, so far, you have you ready to do something new, ready to continue doing something new. You're ready, you're excited, a new opportunity has arisen, and you are ready to take it by the reins and ride that horse straight into the sunset. They're not. They have reached a moment of content. They're okay with the status quo. They're okay with what things are. Now, let's find out what the point of contention is. Understanding is going to be a huge word in this situation, Aquarius. Sorry. They're leading it with the Chariot. Now, the Chariot is bold forward motion in a relationship. The Chariot itself is the relationship, and it's being pulled by two individuals, all right? You and your interest. Now, one thing to notate about the Chariot, and depending on circumstances and what I'm going to get into, the Chariot, when you have two people pulling in the same direction, think of two horses. When you have a carriage being pulled by two horses, it goes straight. Now, if what's pulling them, if the carriage is being pulled by two horses and the horses are not completely in sync, they will start to pull apart. And yes, for a while, the relationship is going forward, but as it continues to stretch and go different ways, eventually you get to a point where you're both pulling, you're pulling this way, they're pulling that way, and guess what's not moving anymore? A Chariot. So what I have here is two vastly different energies pulling the relationship in different ways. You have a vision, they have a vision. Their vision just so happens to be that dull, lifeless look. Yours is the, I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna do it. Major arcanas are major messaging, but sometimes the minor arcana is what's really gonna click the most. King of Cups, stability and understanding. You are lacking this. This stability is starting to get torn apart, torn in half. And understanding is not, I'm just throwing cards up left and right. I apologize if that's quick. But this is where, this beauty right here is where the issue is. There is not a mutual understanding of what exactly, where is the Chariot going? You have two vastly different viewpoints on where it should go. So I'm gonna use this other deck and ask, if I don't pull this up with me, ask a couple questions, okay? These are gonna be very straightforward questions. I'm gonna try to get the extreme one way and the extreme the other way. First question, what if Aquarius's partner joins in and follows Aquarius, follows your lead? Let's say that they dig down and find enthusiasm and get out of that lazy boy, get in the car and drive wherever, or get on the back of the horse and ride with you into the sunset. Some awesome metaphors today. Awesome. All right. Interesting. All right. Now, what happens if Aquarius slows down and meets this person's content? You let off the gas a little bit. You start to kind of, you let them in front of you on the horse and let them take it wherever they're going to go. I'm just all about that riding the horse into the sunset metaphor right now. It's just jiving right now, Aquarius. It's screaming at me. So, if we go all in on yours, you have the Wheel of Fortune, which is the completion of a cycle. It is the end of a phase and the beginning of a new phase. For example, basic example, a phase of a relationship is dating, all right? The end of a phase of dating is the end of dating. That new phase can either be not dating anymore and going your separate ways, which is the completion of a cycle and the beginning of a new phase of being single, or it could be taking the next step, such as marriage, which is the completion of dating and the start of a new phase, which is being engaged. So you have various phases in a relationship, and phases can be huge, such as what I was saying. Phases can also be small, such as somebody's really mad about something frivolous. You left the door unlocked and you weren't supposed to, and we're mad about that. It's a stupid thing to be mad about, depending on circumstance. If you had like hordes of gold and treasure in there, I can understand them being mad at you for not locking that door, because that's mountains of gold that your pet dragon just all hoarded in there. I am all about those metaphors today. It's ridiculous. But when they stop being mad, that's the end of that phase. That makes sense? So what's going to happen here is you will hit the end of a phase. That phase being them not going along, okay? Then you have the Queen of Swords, which is a logical approach. It's getting the truth about it. It's using a logical approach to find the truth of a situation. And then it's the methodical hunt for the truth. And then you have the Ten of Wands, which is burden, which is being overwhelmed. So if they just stop doing what they're doing, that phase of you rushing ahead will be over. They will be back into your camp, all right? That means that you will start to understand, because their true colors will show. They're never going to be fully content. And let me explain why and what I'm seeing here. They will start to understand their truth. They will start to show that they are overwhelmed. They are not on the same page as you. They will show burden. And you will understand that. You will understand it. And then from there, it's ultimately, you'll be in an interesting place. You truly will, because you've now moved into a new uncharted territory. Right now you're in a stable place, but you're pushing to go forward. They are not. They're not just pushing to go forward. They actively have the brakes pressed down. It's not like they're just in neutral and you can push them. They are halted. And if they were to just let off the brakes and go with you, they're not going to be able to process and catch up. So this issue that is causing the relationship to veer in different directions is not going to be cured by them just jumping in, okay? So you just going it alone, or you just, hoping that they just drop their, not drop there, but you hope that they just let off the brake and just go with you. You may see results down the line, but this particular issue, this new phase, is not going to be the best. It might be a continuation of the Chariot. What may happen, especially if you're throwing burden in this, is at first you're going to bring those horses back in line. But then as they start not quite being on the same page, they're going to start pulling away again. Okay? I'm not saying the reason that they're pulling away is bad. They've just reached a point of comfort. If you slow down and meet them 100%, you have the Page of Cups, which is romance, it's flirtation, it's a lot of times that little fish in the cup could mean a new life. I like to kind of think of that as the frisky business, you know what I mean? Then they have the Ace of Pentacles, which is a new beginning in the physical world. Now, physical world, especially with like pentacles, a lot of people translate that just into money. Money is so very important in the physical world. It sucks that it is, but it is. It can also mean your possessions, such as your home, your mode of transportation, your pet if you have one, like things that you possess. It can also be, and in this case, keep this one in mind, it can be our flesh and blood, because we, as human beings, do exist in the physical world, okay? So you have a new beginning in the physical world. Then you have the Star, which is healing from the past. It's moving on from the past. What this is showing me is that if things slow to their pace, you're going to lose a lot of the romance. Let me explain why. You have flirtation and romance. You are going to try to keep that. That's going to be you. You're burning that romance, okay? You're burning it to keep it going forward. They're keeping it where it is. That new beginning, the physical world, is that new status quo on how you two mesh. It could be a slowdown in the physical pleasure sense, if you know what I mean. If romance slows down, so does libido. And then the healing from past relationships is not healing from the past relationships like you have had before or like they have had before. This is you healing from your past phase of this relationship. I know it sounds kind of weird, but this is you coming to an understanding that things have slowed down. So Aquarius, you have a weird dynamic right now and a lot of very complicated choices to make. If you go all in, they're never going to be able to fully get in line with you. If you completely just let off the gas and get in that completely stopped car with them, your romance is going to start diving down. So my personal advice to you, take it or leave it, it's ultimately your choice what you want to do with this information. You're gonna have to figure out a better way to communicate, a better way to come to an understanding. You may have to realign your chariot. And I know nobody wants to hear this, and Aquarius, please do not think that I'm harping on you. Please do not think that I'm calling you the bad guy. Just take this exactly for what I'm saying. You might need to lower the bar down a bit. You might need to lower the bar a little bit. That way you can bring this person into focus. This may be one of those situations where they can only see straight ahead. They can only see here. You have the bar up there and it's not in their field of view. I'm like doing the alligator here, man. This is great. But if they can't see the goal and you can, how do they even know how to match it? If you lower it down a little bit and they can see it, and that alligator mouth isn't quite as open as far. I love these metaphors. It's ridiculous. It's amazing. But if you lower that viewpoint, if you lower that goal to where they can see it. And I'm not saying to just lay down your arms and just say, you know, screw it, whatever, I don't care anymore. Think about what is the most priority in these goals that you have. Keep them high. But if you lower the things that don't matter as much, you'll get a median, okay? And if they can see that median, they might be able to come to an understanding that this is going to be good for me. And what that'll do is bring that horse right back in line and pull that chariot forward. Make that relationship still continue. So Aquarius, I know it seems like a tall order, but you have the enthusiasm. You have that can-do attitude right now. Understand that, yes, it may kind of suck for a moment having to lower your standards, but those standards that you're lowering, that bar that you're lowering, is still above where you're at now. You will make progress. And who knows, later on down the line, this is strategic thinking. Later on down the line, if you've risen to this bar and they plateau here, you know, they get back into this at your compromise. You know, what's funny is if they're at this, if your bar was here and they're here and they can't see it, and you lower the bar to here and they get there, the next bar could be up where you wanted it. And now it's in their crocodile mouth. They can see it. You got options, Aquarius, you truly do. You got options. You got the willpower. Don't lose that willpower, and you can make this work. All right, Aquarius? So with that said, I really, really do appreciate you spending your time hearing me go on about these meetings and enduring my terrible metaphors. I really appreciate it, though. It means a lot knowing that I'm not just talking to nobody. So I hope this helps you. And with that, I'll catch you next time.